Welcome to the debauchery. We have such sights to show you.
Here's Johnny!
All you have left is my desire for you.
Oh, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
Welcome back to another episode of Fright Flick FMK, where we watch the horror movies and then we let you know if we would rather fuck it, marry it, or kill it. And on this episode this week, I'm joined once again by one of the Patreon Fright Flick family members, Jamie. Jamie, welcome back to the show. Thank you for coming on here again. How you doing?
I am well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me back because I didn't think that would happen after the last time I was on.
Oh, hell. See, I hit you up after the last one because on YouTube views, you know, when I hit you up, I was like, hey, I said, when we did Terrified, the most views in one day, like when that one uploaded, that was the most views in the first day that anybody viewed it. And people out there, I don't want y'all to, don't get excited, people. I'm not talking about hundreds and thousands of views. I'm not like that. You know, I get excited if it gets into double digits. I get a hard on for that. Like, it's like, holy shit, we got the people, like 20 people watched it, you know? And so it was popular. A lot of people liked it. They watched that episode. And so
That's awesome.
And so I hit you up earlier. What was it? Earlier this week?
Yes.
Yeah. I hit you up because I had this movie in mind that I wanted to do. And I was just kind of seeing what your schedule was. And so you was free. And so, you know, because hey, it's a lot better for people out there when they get to listen to somebody else other than me ramming along for an hour and a half. You know, it's easier for me to go back and forth with somebody than when it's just me, you know, listening to my lovely sound for an hour or so.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I get it.
It is.
Yeah.
And
I didn't think about that before.
and I'm glad that, you know, that you're into a lot of the same type of horror, you know, and you love it the way I do. And get on here and pick certain movies. Cause like I said, and I tell people all the time, you know, my schedule and what I talk about has nothing to do with what I want to do. Like, you could literally hit me up one day and be like, hey, I watched this movie. And I would be like, well, shit, let's fucking get on here and talk about it.
Yeah.
You know? And that's one of the things I like is like, you know, there's no script here, there's no schedule, there's no, you know, nothing's off limits here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so with this one, it's one of the newer movies. You know, I came across it. This one this week, we're going to be covering Skeletons in the Closet, 2024, brand spanking new, like new, like 2024.
Did you say it's spanking new?
Spanking new, brand spanking new. That's a southern thing, you know. I grew up.
Yeah, it is.
So you can use it. You know, go to work one day and be like, you get some new whatever you sell may come in. But hey, this is the brand spanking new shit right here. You just use it, toss it out there, see what happens.
Everybody's gonna be like, I have to have it.
Exactly. Like, what the fuck is this spanking thing she's talking about? And why do I want it so bad? You know,
I want like 3 of them.
yeah, exactly. So that's all you gotta do. Just throw that in there when you go to sell it. You know, like, hey, this is brand spanking new.
I'll be the top salesperson. Brand spanking new.
All you gotta do, toss that little word in there. They're going to be like, what the fuck? And then they're going to be like, I don't know what that means, but I want it at the same time.
Yeah.
You're gonna
They're gonna want it more than they'll want it more than the Kim Kardashian nipple bra. Have you heard of this?
No, they have their own. What is it like? It's a
Like
it's a.
so it is
Is it a white bra? Or is it a black bra?
it is a I'm not sure if they well, I've seen pictures of it. So it's a
Probably
beige bra, but it has a little not what's the opposite of an indention? It has like a fake nipple protrusion, so you look like your high beams are on all the time under your tight t-shirt.
So just so we clear this up for the people who are listening, who may not know,
Yes.
tell us
Yeah.
what you do.
That would actually make more sense out of this.
This is gonna make sense once y'all hear what Jamie does.
So I am a professional bra fitter. No, I don't work at Victoria's Secret. Um, they are not bra fitters. They are there to sell you some shitty bras that don't fit.
Mm.
Period. So I'm actually a trained certified fitter. I've been doing it for 4 years. And that's why I know about things like the Kim Kardashian nipple bra, which I wouldn't recommend because it looks like shit.
So you spend your day looking at boobs,
Yes.
handling boobs.
I don't really handle them.
How the fuck do you fit them then?
Well,
you use a tape measure?
that's just a formality. That's just to make them feel comfortable. When I look at a person, I can pretty much
You can
guess.
eyeball it.
I can eyeball it. I eyeball it.
I'll bring my wife on here next time we're doing this together. I'll bring my wife on here. And
I would love
to go live. I want to have her pull her shirt up, and I'll be like,
absolutely.
Hey, Jamie, what size are these bad boys? And I want you to give me a shot.
Cannot wait. I will guess her size. It's probably a size she's never heard of. Then I will send her a bra, and it'll change her life.
Oh shit! This is on. We're doing this.
Does she have big boobs?
Huh? Yeah.
Does she have big boobs?
She has very well money spent boobs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing with that. That means she can probably wear whatever size she wants to, and it doesn't matter because they're all gonna already staying up themselves.
Yes, they are very lovely, very lovely.
I'm still gonna guess her bra size.
I'm curious if you could take a peek at them. So I'm gonna bring her on here.
Yes, I will peek at your wife's boobs.
Awesome. She will be excited about this. I'm gonna let her.
Strictly professional.
She will be excited. She will be excited. So that's what we mean, people, when we're talking about the Kardashian nipple bra, where it's just because some people out there, people who I believe that just can't have a good nipple. Some people just don't have a good nipple. I feel like there's people out there who's got those skull can nipples where they're fucking huge. And skull can nipples, people, you can't make that nice, perky, just that look.
That's why
you've probably seen skull can nipples, and you probably know you might need to go check out the Kardashian bra. You fucking sell it.
Here is the irony of that, though. Because I get it. I think seeing nipples through a shirt, bra, I'm like, that's hot. Okay. Plus, most people have nipples. So who fucking cares, right? But most of my customers come in and they're like, I want the biggest, most padded bra because no one can see my nipples. And I'm like,
they don't want. Some people don't want to see.
They don't want people to see their nipples. And so actually when Kim Kardashian came out with the nipple bra, I was like, oh, good. Maybe people will stop worrying about, oh, I can't get this because you can see my nipple. Mm. No one's looking at your boobs that close. Yeah. No one cares about your nipple but you.
But, there are probably some people out there, though, who has those crazy long, pencil eraser nipples that stick out like a fucking half an inch. And those are the ones they want to press down. That shit don't look good. and you got those types.
Usually those are women who have nursed children.
Oh, it's the baby's fault. I see how this is going. I'm about to hate on some kids. We can fucking hate on some kids here because I'm all about fucking kids. Mama comes up into your place of business that says, you see this little fucker in this car seat right here? This little piece of shit has caused this, half inch long nipples,
Yeah,
and they need
yeah,
bad
yeah,
enough shit.
yeah, like chewed up grapes,
Ugh.
raisins. It's just they're
Ugh.
not on and they feel so bad and they're like, "Oh, my nipples are always hard. I need that industrial foam to hide them." And I'm like, "No, you don't.
Mm.
Just let 'em
It's-
boop, turkey's done. Everybody knows."
Hey, people, if you're out there and you're having issues with your skull can nipples not standing out there just the right way, go get you some Kardashian bras. Or my girl Jamie here. She can hook you up. She will fit you just right. No cupping necessary. No cupping. She can just eyeball that shit.
I just eyeball it. I
Hey,
just look and I go, "I'll be right back." And I put a bra on their body and they go, "Oh my God, how did you do that?" And I'm like, I look at boobs all day.
hey, shit. You are the magician of the boobs, you know?
I am the wizard of bras.
Hmm, there you go. You should get like on a t-shirt or something to wear
I
around.
should. I should. Yeah, I should. Somebody called me a couple of weeks ago. A customer came in. She was so happy when she left that she was crying in tears of joy, and she called me the what did she call me? The titty fairy godmother.
Hey, see? You should just
Hmm.
change your nameplate and everything. Just like office
Yeah, the
door.
titty.
Put that shit right
Yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The titty fairy godmother because she had huge boot. I'm talking people think double D's are big. No, those are pretty average. She had like I think her boobs are like an O. So think about D at the beginning of the alphabet. We're down at the end O
Man,
as a
I didn't know that was a
that's a
thing.
big that's a big I'm trying to show on the screen how big that boob. It's bigger than my head.
Damn.
It's it's a that's a big boob. So, yeah.
Hey,
Anyway,
get you a sticker made across your back window, you know, that everybody knows, like, oh shit, there she goes.
and my sister hates it when we are in the car parked at a red light, sitting at a red light. We're not parked. Um and people walk across the intersection. I'll sit there and I'll look and
You
I
be
see
picking
this
out bra
woman.
sizes?
Yeah, I see this
Good.
woman and I see her walking by and I don't say anything. And my sister goes, I know she's wearing the wrong size bra. I'm like, I just want to help people. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's when
pick
you
their
jump
bra
out and
size.
give your business card. Like, here you go, come see me sometime. Let me help you with those fucking milkers you got just draping down at your fucking knees.
But don't you think that would hurt someone's feelings if I said, here, your bra doesn't fit. Please come see me.
No, because I feel sure there's probably women out there who do not know that.
Who are like, oh my God, yes, my back hurts.
Yeah, they can't figure out why like they got a fucking e ogre hunchback in their back because they don't fucking know. You know, like
Yeah.
Quasimodo, that's the word I look for. Quasimodo
Yes.
hunchback because they're just like, well, my back over here because you got them fucking big gargantuan things that you ain't
Yeah.
holding up just right.
Yeah.
And so that's where they come see you. Boom. You hold
Well,
the
come
bad
see
boys
me.
up. You slap some Kardashian nipples on them. They are in the game. They are,
You're like a new woman.
bam, going home making magic happen.
The cheapest boob job in town.
Hey, they ain't gonna cost you but a few bucks, and you're gonna get some, you cover up them skull can nipples, and you get you some good Kardashian nipples. Hey, people, I promise this show is about horror movies. It really is. You
It
know,
really
it really is.
is.
We're gonna talk about a horror movie here. You know, we've already told you
Which
Skeletons in the
reminds
Closet,
me,
but
there aren't, it even says it in my notes. There are no boobs in this movie.
yeah, I'm a big fan of a movie that will
Yeah.
give me some boobies, especially if you're like a not a great movie. Like
Yeah.
if I already know that, all right, this one's gonna be pretty shitty, but I might get some good boobs in it, it will
But
automatically pull me towards it.
then there's no boobs and skeletons in the closet.
None at all, none at all. Disappointing in that.
So you noticed as well.
I did
Yeah.
notice. I'm a big
Uh-huh.
any horror movie. Almost any horror movie, there's a chance that you're gonna get some titties in it. That's just natural.
Yeah.
At some
Yeah.
point, you know.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
so I was. You wait for it, but then after a few, a lot of times you can pick in certain horror movies. You can kind of figure out the ones that are going to give you a boob shot. You can kind of start picking up on it. You feel it coming. Like, okay,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
this one might give me a something, but we don't even get a side boob. There's nothing. In it. So all the boob talk that you got now is strictly just work related, real life boob talk.
Yeah. Professional. Yeah.
Professional, yeah, from somebody who does it every day. Like, hey,
I looked at movies all day long.
yes. So now, like I said, we are going to talk about a horror movie, people. But this is just the way this show goes. There's never a plan. There's no script here. I told Jamie when we get on here, we're gonna push record, and whatever happens, happens. If you don't like this, if you're just like, I just want to hear you talk about the movie, well, go start your own fucking podcast, people, and talk about it however the fuck you want to. Here at this shit show, we do things however the fuck we want to. And just to piss you people off, the ones who are like, just talk about the movie, I'm going to sidetrack once again.
Don't do it.
I'm doing it. We're going to sidetrack once again. Earlier we were I hit you up earlier about when we're going to get on here and do this and stuff, and I told her and we were talking about it, and I mentioned to her part of my show before I get on here and do this. I enjoy drinking my Gentleman Jack, which is right here as always in the Yeti. And if you think I'm bullshitting you people when I say that, here's the bottle that sits next to me that as I refill. And before I do a show, I like to listen and drink. I listen to one of my favorite band, Creedence Clearwater Revival. And I feel sure there are a ton of people out there who, when I said that, like, what the fuck is that? Google, people, Creedence Clearwater Revival. And I mentioned to you earlier, I was like, there's a story I want to tell. It's going to take a couple minutes of the show. To me, it's cool.
Oh, yeah.
This is what I texted you earlier. And this was kind of where
Yeah.
it was cool for me because, and like I said, people, it's my show. I do what the fuck I want. But we will get to Skeletons in the Closet, I promise. Stay with us, folks. Stay with us. If it makes you another drink, come back. I may still be talking about this shit, but who gives a fuck? Okay.
There's no time limit.
No, we do what we want here. But growing up, when you look back to your childhood, Jamie, is there a part when you look back to where you kind of wonder, like for me, this particular thing I'm talking about, this took place probably before I even started school. This was like young. And the fact that I can remember it and the fact that it's still in my head for something that happened when I may have been, I don't know if I was 4, 5, I don't know. I just remember this particular thing that has stuck with me, and I'm 48 now, that has stuck with me all these years. Is there something that, can you see that? Like when you look back and be like, I don't know why I remember it.
Yeah, but you have like a blip, you have like a memory of, I mean, I even have a dream. I remember a part of a dream when I was like 3 or 4, like you're talking about. And I'm like, I remember having that dream. I can see my mom in that dream and what she was doing. And what a weird thing for me to remember a piece of a dream when I was fucking 4 years old.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
totally.
And that's where I'm at with this one thing. Growing up, I was probably, and I was born in 76. Gen X, baby. Super fucking proud of it.
We're 73.
Yes, we're the best. Growing up, there was a time when and I don't remember, I don't know the details. I just remember my dad taking me to it was like a babysitter or somebody watching me while he was at work, or him and my mom were at work. And my dad had this old orange Gremlin car. If you don't know what a Gremlin is, go Google Gremlin. Little orange one, a little orange Gremlin. And him taking me to this lady who was watching me that morning. And I remember rides there, and the old Gremlin had an 8-track tape player in it. The
Oh,
old school 8-track. I remember listening to, and for some reason, as I got older, kind of looking back, like, why did this band just stick out to me? And Creedence Clearwater Revival has been that band that has just something about them. It just stuck, and it's like the music. I love it, and I remember going to the lady who was watching me, and my dad having an 8-track playing in this old ass Gremlin, and I can remember this song that was called what was the name of it? As Long as I Can See the Light. And it was one of the songs that I remember. And to this day, I can remember that song. And it's crazy to me, and I'll never be able to understand why, at that young of an age, I can remember this band playing over this radio and these certain songs. So, and long story, short to this, for me, that's a big, like, I
yeah.
love Creedence Clearwater Revival. And this week just came in the mail. Just came in the mail this week. I have the 8-track tape, 8-track Creedence
Wow.
Clearwater Revival that
Wow.
has that song, As Long as I Can See the Light.
Wow.
8-track,
That is fucking nice.
yeah, the 8-track that was called that album that song came off of from Creedence was called The Chaos Factory. And I think it was like late 70s, somewhere in there. I can't remember exactly. But I found it, and I got the actual 8-track, still in good condition, with the song titles on it right here. And if you're not on YouTube and you're just on Spotify or whatever, you're not seeing this, but I'm holding up the 8-track that had that song on it from Creedence, and getting that in this week was cool to me, because looking back, as young as I was, my dad had that 8-track playing that old Gremlin, and these songs that just, and listening to them now, as I got older, I'm listening to them and I'm hearing them, I'm like, man, I don't know why I just like it so much, and even to this day, like, I drive back and forth to work, everything, Creedence is playing on my Spotify. I have a playlist of just Creedence, and so for me, it was super cool this week to get this. And now my next goal is to find me an 8-track tape player.
Oh, don't do it, because you'll ruin it. It's going to eat it immediately.
I don't know, because the tape still looks good when I look at the tape. It still looks good.
That is going to be the kiss of death.
Oh,
Don't
will
play
it?
it.
Okay, I may
It's
not.
going to be
Then.
the kiss of death.
You may
Because
not.
you know that shit the second. And again, for the younger generations, they may not even know what an 8-track is.
Oh,
I
I
don't
guarantee
know.
you people don't know what an 8-track is.
But I mean, just think about it. Every single time you stuck it into the player, it gobbled up that tape.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh
then
yeah.
I'll spit it out.
And that's why I was so happy when I found this one, because like when I look at the tape and everything, like I said, everything still looks good. You can still read all the writing on the title of the song, everything, just like
That is crazy.
it
Where
is.
did you find it?
eBay.
Okay, I was gonna
Okay.
guess
Yeah,
eBay.
I
Where else
love
did you
eBay,
find that?
and
So probably no one's played it,
yeah, and
and they
it's
just
crazy.
filled it up.
Yeah, because
Is
it's
it factory sealed? Were they doing shrink wrap in the 70s?
no. This one was just what he shipped it to me in. He shipped it to me in
Okay,
this
yeah,
little plastic thing. I
yeah.
just didn't take it out. I want to leave it in there,
Oh, of
but
course.
for me, it was cool because it still had the original, like, cover of the album on it.
That's
And then if it's close enough,
awesome.
you can't really see it, but you could read the name of that, and that one song is on it. As Long as I Can See the Light. And people, if you've never listened to Creedence, you, you are missing out, man. Like, and
It's
people
good
have heard
shit
their
for
song.
sure.
I know people have heard their music. They've heard their songs in movies and shit, and they just hear
Yeah.
it. But and also when I ordered that, and we're about to get in this movie, people, stick with me. When I ordered the 8-track, when I found it, I found another dude that also had I love vinyl. I love old records. So
Oh, okay.
I found me the same one. Original.
What?
Original. Yep.
Nice.
Chaos Factory. Got that same song on it. as long as I can
That's
see the light.
that's fucking
Hey,
badass.
I fucking love them. And like I said, and
That's
I got a
badass.
I got a record player. I love the
Yeah.
sound of vinyl. That little cracking, popping sound.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
And
See,
so
I would listen to the vinyl before I would open up that 8 track.
yeah, yeah,
That's just
yeah. I should. You know, because
that's just me. Do what you want.
yeah, a part of me was kind of like, I just wonder what the old 8 track would sound like if I could find an 8 track. But like you said, it may
Yeah,
eat that motherfucker up as soon as I put it in
but
there.
but also sometimes a fucking life experience is getting that 8 track player and putting that 8 track in there and listening to it. Like, do
Yeah,
you want the do you want the collector's item, or do you want the experience to hear
yeah,
that 8 track?
yeah. And
And then it gets
that's
10
where I found
seconds
out.
in.
Once I got it in the mail, I was like, man, I wonder if I should just track me down like something that will an 8 track player. I'm just curious if it will
Yeah,
play and just the
yeah,
sound.
I'm curious
Yeah,
too.
and just the sound of something that was made all the way back in like the 70s. Just the
Yeah,
how far we've come to where now you just fucking
yeah.
hit an app.
It's not a remastered
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
It's
It's like the
what
original one of these tapes, and so
yeah,
I was super excited when I got that this week, and I was going to, no matter what, if you were able to come on here or not, I was going to talk about it no matter what, and so when I got that in this week, I was like, man, it's just something cool to me because even to this day, I can't put why, I forget shit I did yesterday,
same.
and it's crazy how certain things that as
Yeah.
far back as that is in your mind somehow that
Mhm.
can go back to, and I can remember those exact moments. I can remember
Yeah.
pulling up in the lady's driveway at that little whoever she was. I remember me getting ready to get out of the car and that 8 track playing. I remember everything about it. It's just crazy to me at that young of an age how shit
Yeah.
that you can remember it. And then
Yeah.
like, I couldn't tell you what I had for fucking lunch yesterday.
Right?
It's
Yeah.
stuff to me, and so I was super excited when that came in today, and I was like, I'm gonna share that. I want to talk about it because, and people go listen to Credence. Damn it, you got to.
Listen to Credence for real. And I don't even know, like, I'm a Credence fan, but I hear you say the song title and I'm like, do I know that song?
Oh
Maybe I do, and I just don't know what it's called. So of course I'm gonna go listen to it later and I'll
yeah,
be like, oh yeah, that is the jam. But yeah, fucking
and
solid,
that
solid
song,
jam.
to this day, like I said, when it comes, that is just for some reason I go back to that.
Yeah.
Me and my dad and that little orange gremlin going to
Uh-huh.
the babysitter. You know,
Yeah.
as long as I can see the light. Chaos Factory album for Credence. Look it up, people.
That's fucking
It's
badass.
pretty cool, pretty cool. So, all right, people, we've wasted your time. We've
We're
talked
gonna
about
do
some
it.
boobies. We've talked about some CCR.
Oh.
Hold on. Does Jamie need a refill?
Yes. Do you
Hey,
want to start while I refill, or should I be here for the?
what I'll do is
Is
I'll
it
go ahead and cover the IMDb bullshit, and then when you come
do
back,
it?
jump into it.
Do it.
So you go get
Back in a
the
bit.
refill, and I want to keep on talking, people. Listen, this
Perfect.
week we're coloring Skeletons in the Closet 2024. This one is on Shutter. If you do not have Shutter, you need to go grab it. If you like AMC and that type of stuff, the AMC app, you can pay for like a 1 year subscription to AMC Plus for like maybe 30 or 40 bucks. You get all the AMC and Shutter's included. Shutter has a ton of horror movies. And this movie, Skeletons in the Closet, it's 2024 on Shutter. Just came out, I think, last weekend, I think. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to hit you real quick with the IMDb because I just get this shit right off the web. I don't take time to come up with it. So, IMDb description of this movie: haunted by a malevolent, I should have, fuck, I can't pronounce, malevolent spirit since childhood, a desperate mother allows herself to become possessed in order to save the life of her terminally ill daughter. Now, this movie is going to hit on some of how far will a parent go for their kids? I feel like there's no limit, when it comes to people's kids and how far they're willing to go. This movie's going to kind of go that direction a little bit. This one got my attention originally because it stars Terrence Howard. And I am a huge Terrence Howard fan. Um, so many good movies. So when I seen Terrence Howard was in it, I was like, that got my attention right out the gate. I wasn't sure if it was even going to be a fucking horror movie. I didn't care. I was going to watch it because he was in it. And this one also stars another big name, Cuba Gooding Jr. And I'm a huge fan of him. If you've never seen the movie Boat Trip with him, you need to go check it out.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
hunt that one down. Boat Trip. It's a comedy. It's not horror. It's comedy, people. But it is fucking funny. But the reason I say that, because it also has the lady that plays in all of the Insidious movies. The
Oh,
older
okay.
lady, that like the main
Yeah,
lady. I have a
yeah,
crush
yeah.
on her. She's one of my crushes. I have a huge crush on her, and she's in Boat Trip, and along with Cuba Gooding Jr. But anybody who, if you've never seen the movie Boat Trip, go track it down and watch it. Fucking
Will do.
funny. Love that movie. I may, when I get off here tonight and I'm done recording and doing all this, I may go watch it because it's been a minute since I've seen it. That shit is so fucking funny.
So that boat trip is a Mary for you.
Oh yeah, Boat Trip is definitely, it is one of those you can watch and laugh your ass off because it is fucking funny. So good. But yeah, and so Skeletons in the Closet. The director of this thing, I couldn't pronounce it if you put a fucking gun to my head.
May I try?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
I
you go
interrupted
right
you.
ahead. Knock yourself out. Go ahead.
I think it is Asif Akbar. I could be wrong.
I'd buy
Asif Akbar.
I'd
If
buy it for
somebody
a
wants
dollar.
to correct me, I am open, but that's just phonetically what I see.
Yeah, okay. So I had the Akbar part right. I've been deployed enough where I've learned to yell like the Ali Ali Akbar bullshit, you know. So done that. But uh, but yeah, so this movie, I kind of want to, God, what did you I almost want to get a little bit of the rating shit out of the way before I.
Ah, I knew you were going to do that. And the thing is, my rating is at the very end of my
Is it?
notes because
Okay.
because
That's fine.
I watched it on Sunday,
Uh-huh.
my day off. I was like, okay, but sometimes I'll like that's kind of like that was like a preliminary viewing, which meant I had it on while I was doing. Oh, and I keep pointing over there. I don't know if you can see me, but my TV's over there, and I like to cue the movie while we're talking about it. But anyway, so I'll stop pointing over there. But so my preliminary viewing, I was just like casually watching and doing other shit. And then I watched it again. Um, had to split it up into two parts because I don't have the luxury of free time. So Tuesday night watched half, made notes. Wednesday night half, made notes. And Wednesday night I was on the fence. Like I thought I knew. The preliminary viewing, I was like, I'm just gonna say this is a kill. Okay, spoiler alert, I was gonna kill it. And then when I rewatched it, I was like, I'm not so sure. And I also feel like talking about it tonight, I might even change my mind again. So I'm still kind of on the fence here. And there's a lot of variables, the cast being a big part of it.
Yeah. I was kind of the same way you're talking about it. I watched it over the weekend with my wife Jess. First time we watched it. And I mentioned to her I think I'm gonna do a show on this one. And so I watched it with her. And a lot of times there's certain movies that will make me fucking love it just because of the people that are in it. And
Yeah.
when Terrence Howard was in it, if you would have asked me over the weekend when I watched this thing, and because she asked me earlier when we were FaceTiming, like, well, how are you going to rate it? And I was like, I don't know because over the weekend I was going to marry the shit out of it because of Terrence
Hmm.
Howard because I'm such a big fan. But when we decided we were going to do the show, I was like, okay, I want to rewatch it and take some notes.
Mm-hmm,
Sit
mm-hmm.
down, I rewatched it, and I'm taking notes. Then totally changed it.
Ah.
Totally watching it again. I'm picking out little things that are irking me.
Oh, yeah, I got some of those too. They're in my notes.
Yeah. So there are certain things that irk me and bothered me,
Yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
it made me
Absolutely.
change to.
Uh-huh.
So how do you want to do it? You're the guest.
Oh,
You're the guest.
yeah.
Let's go. We're gonna rate it now, or you want to wait till the end?
I think all 12 viewers slash listeners have a pretty good idea of where we stand. I say let's save it till the end
Okay.
because what if we change our minds again? Because we are a little,
This is true. Like I said, sometimes the talking about it because I've done that with other movies, like where Dylan and stuff. We talked about a movie, and I go into
yeah,
it with my mind right here, and then hearing
yeah.
somebody else talk about it, I'm like, well, holy shit, that makes sense to me. Now that
Mm-hmm.
makes me kind of change how I see it. So yeah,
Yeah.
totally. But one thing we'll talk about with this, as far as the storyline, the overall
Mm.
storyline, what did you think of?
Okay. Okay. Storyline could have been anyone in those roles. Predictable, and I don't know if that's just because of the visual nuances that we had.
Mhm.
Um, I thought it was a really good story. I mean, it is interesting. And I think I had different perceptions. Like I think the first time I saw it, I felt one way about it, and the second time I watched, I was like, "Oh, well maybe," which also sways um my rating, but all of that's so interesting because yeah, I guess giving it that much thought, I want to give it more credit than maybe it deserves.
Yeah. See, I
But
the
good story, I think,
yeah,
overall.
the and I like the fact with the story overall because what it made me do is it made me, as growing up as a kid in school, I hated school, I hated homework, I hate anything.
Same.
And so,
Hated school.
but what this
Hated it.
one, but what this movie made me do is it made me go look up Santa Morita, however you say it,
Yeah.
because
Uh-huh.
I thought it was just some shit that was made up for this movie.
No, no,
Yeah,
Santa
I had no
Marita. I have
clue.
heard of her,
Yeah,
but I don't think I fully knew much of her,
I
but
didn't.
I, like you, was like, "Well, let me do a little Google crash course
Yeah,
and be like, oh, okay, specifically who she is or
yeah.
was."
and and
Yeah,
and the way they lined it up with the storyline,
yeah,
where they went along with how like she can grant wishes, but it's going to come at a cost, stuff like that. And so,
right.
and it made me kind of be like, well, who the fuck is this? And I kind of had to look in and look it up and read into it, which is odd for me because I fucking hate reading. And and so it made me kind of learn and look at this and be like, holy shit, this is like a legit thing. This isn't some shit that was made up for the movie. It's legit,
Yeah,
So the storyline, I liked it. I liked the way it rolled. The storyline, I'm cool with. The storyline was like, okay, thumbs up. You done did good. I'm good with it. And as far as the cast, hey, I love Terrence Howard.
yeah, and I get it. I've seen him in movies, and like when you were like, "Oh, I love this dude," one of my favorite actors. I was like, "Okay," and I'm like, I immediately could see him because he's
Mhm.
a very recognizable person because he does have those gorgeous eyes,
Right.
like very distinct, like.
He's a good looking man.
He's a very good looking man.
Yeah.
And then I know it's crazy. And then like you watch him and you're like, oh, but I'm believing everything he says. Like he's very believable
Oh yeah.
in any role he does. And also the way he speaks, like he's a very interesting human being to observe. And that is what I think we find so intriguing about actors.
Yeah.
Bill Overs Jr. I'm going to throw him in there.
and-
You know,
We know you be crushing on Bill. We know. Bill, give your girl Jamie a holler, damn it.
um,
She
oh my God.
got the girly
Really, you
going on
you
right
just
now,
made
Bill.
you made me blush,
Damn
but
it.
it's okay. Um, but the thing is, that's the thing about an actor when you look at him and you're like, wow, and that's fascinating to look at this person, like someone whose job is for you to look and listen, to observe them and believe everything they're telling you because they're actors.
Yeah.
I just find it to be a very fascinating um craft. Like fuck celebrity, like who cares? Like Bill Oberst Jr. is not a celebrity, m- uh, mainstream speaking, but you and I are like, but he's an artist, like that's a craft, and to watch this person perform is just I don't know. So yeah, I guess my whole point is Terrence Howard is just another one of those humans who is just so interesting to observe. Everything about them, the way they speak, the way they move, the way they look, you're just like, I want to keep looking at you and hearing you telling the story.
Yeah, and you know, people always make the comments all the time, like, you know, somebody had to narrate your life. They always pick like, you know, Morgan Freeman because he's got that voice. For me, it's not. It's Terrence fucking Howard
You're
that
like, it's Terrence.
to
It's
narrate my life, the way he talks, and that's why when
the way he talks.
yes, when this movie kicks off, Skeletons in the Closet, this thing's going to kick off, and it's him talking. You know,
Yeah.
talking about and he's talking about like there's things in life that you're never prepared for, you know, and he's making comments about you've heard of like, you know, you hear of gods and the devil and demons, you know, and how you never know what they really are and how they can like scare you to your soul. And when he's talking about it, I am reeled in already. Like as
Yeah.
soon as I'm hearing him talk about it, he just got
Mhm.
that voice. And it instantly I was like, I'm into this movie. I don't give a fuck what happens. I'm
I'm
in
into this.
right now.
But you're right. That is a really good intro. Like it grabbed you visually. I like the intro. I'm actually going to push play because I'm going to re-see it because I kept thinking, oh, I just want to see that again. But yeah, you're right. Like the intro, like the dialogue, or I guess that's a monologue. Um, I was instantly drawn into that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It set up the story very nicely.
Yeah. And he just got that, you know, and if I feel sure everybody out there should have heard of Terrence Howard. And if you hadn't, then once again, people, after you look up Credence, go look up some Terrence Howard and get down with some of his movies. Cause he has got some fucking bangers out there that I
Yeah.
just this dude
Yeah.
and he's the whole reason why I didn't give a fuck about Iron Man after Iron Man 1. Because he was in Iron Man 1 and then he wasn't in the rest of them. And after
Oh,
he went away after the first Iron Man when he was in that one. And when he went away, I think they brought in like Don Cheadle, however you say his name. I didn't give a
yeah.
fuck about Iron Man at that point. I like Terrence. And have you ever watched the Empire series, the TV series Empire?
I have seen a couple of episodes, so yes, I remember him from that.
Oh yeah, another banger.
Yeah.
Great movie,
Yeah.
Red
Yeah.
Tails. Red Tails is probably one of my favorite Terrence Howard movies. Um,
Okay.
he's not even in it a ton. It's just when he's in it, he's just fucking so good.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Terrence, if you somehow stumble across this, you know, We fucking love you here at this fucking shit show, damn it.
Yeah, we're huge fans, and I always admired his work. But when you mentioned the other day when you texted and you're like, "I'm a huge," something was all caps. I think it was
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
Terrence Howard fan, and I was like, "Okay, he's serious about this shit."
Mm.
And then started watching the movie, and then I'm like, "Yeah, Terrence Howard again." I've always found him to be a very attractive human, and then I Google him, and I'm like, oh, fascinating. Not just good looking, but fascinating as well.
Yep. That's it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And with this movie, like I said, it's gonna start you off with him. He's kind of talking you into it, and you're already kind of questioning like what's going on, what's he talking about? And then we
Mhm.
jump to like real life, like we get Terrence and his wife. The fuck is her name?
Her
Valentina.
name is Valentina.
Valentina.
You
And
know why? I gotta interject for a second. Do you know why I remember her name is Valentina? As you told me earlier this evening, you are a lifelong Prince fan.
mhm,
Prince has a song. It was something closer to the end of his life.
mhm.
Um, but it was a I'm blanking on the name of it was like a 3 CD, whatever. I found it in a bargain bin for like 99 cents and it had 3 discs. And I'm like, this is fucking Prince. What is this shit? And I pop it in on this 3-disc Prince album that no one's ever heard of. There is a song called Valentina.
Mm,
And I'm listening to the song Valentina, our leading lady's
mhm.
name. And it is, he is singing it to, um, oh, sorry, I'm a little drunk, but I'm going to remember her name.
Hey, fucking
Salma Hayek.
yeah, Selma Hayek. Yeah.
Salma Hayek has a daughter named Valentina. Prince wrote a song called Valentina, and he is singing it to Salma Hayek's little 3-year-old daughter, saying, "Hey, Valentina, tell your mama to blah, blah, blah." All sexy shit with his mom, right? So, anyway, we'll follow up on that later, but I wanted to interject that little tidbit of why I remember the mom's name is Valentina because of a sexy Prince song basically about Salma Hayek.
I'm
So
going to
there
look
you
that
go.
one up. I don't. I felt maybe I've heard it. I just don't recognize the. I don't.
You may not. This was like really, really obscure. Like after, I think it was a couple of years before he died, and I was at some used bookstore, and I was like, "What is this Prince?" Oh, the album's called Lotus Flower. Damn
Oh,
it, I
okay.
remember. An album called Lotus Flower, and it has that song Valentina on it, and it's crazy, and that's how I remembered our lead's name.
Oh, I got to check that one out then. Maybe I've heard it. Maybe I just. I'm definitely gonna check it out when we're done. The same way everybody's gonna go check out CCR and every fucking Credence album and Terrence Howard movie
Yes.
and Prince. We are fucking fans of Prince here at this show.
We are. I love, by the way, how you were like, "Hey, that picture behind you, is that Prince?" And then I started looking and I'm like, it's not even his head. You recognize Prince from that.
Hey, it's that stance. It's that
Like,
the
there's
guitar.
his head. But
It's
you didn't see it, did you? No, you
no,
were like, "Is that
it's
Prince?" And
not
I'm like, "Of
Prince.
course."
Yes, the greatest. So
Definitely the greatest.
we get Terrence, who play. His name is what? Mark.
Mark.
Yeah, Mark. Mark and Valentina. They are up in the bedroom. And he's basically talking about a raise. Apparently, he's going into work. He's asking for this raise. He's put in this time. He's put in these years. And she's like being the spouse. She's like being, hey, baby, you got this. You got this. You got this raise type shit.
Yeah.
And they waste no time with getting you going. What the fuck? Because as soon
Mhm.
as Mark leaves, Valentina, what happens? Jamie, this is
Oh, well, so I'm like, "Did you skip forward?"
did I? No, no. Because this is that part
You
where
can
the
get
little
to
closet thing
because
opens up.
he hasn't left yet. So, well, so he's like in the mirror practicing, like, I got this raise, I got this raise. And she's like, you got this raise, baby. And then they get on the bed and they're like, hee. And then the daughter, Jenny,
She's
is
peeking in.
peeking through the door and she's like, oh, how cute, mommy and daddy are like, whatever. And then I have to look at my notes because I forgot, but I think we're close to the same spot. So you got this, baby, yada, yada, yada. Let me look. Oh, I'm ready at the end. Here we go.
But that's when he goes, he kind of like walks out of the bedroom and she turns and like you hear like this. It looks like is it a closet door that kind of creaks open?
Did you see something I didn't? I don't remember
Yeah,
that.
because as soon as like the daughter's
Oh,
downstairs, Mark leaves the room, she turns and there's like this creaking. It looks like a door. I don't know if it's a closet or whatever, but it opens and she kind of looks at it like, what the fuck? And then it just stops. And then we go downstairs to the little girl looking at the fish tank.
okay. So I missed something. So I'm actually watching it right now. And I see the little girl looking through the door, and they're all hanky panky. I'm going to get my raise.
And it's
And
right
then,
after he walks out, she turns and sees like a door
okay.
open.
And she is looking at her hand. It's got an abrasion. She looks up. Oh, I missed this. Oh, so she looked up, she saw the closet door, she made a weird face, and now the fish is belly up, and Jenny's so sad
Because
because,
Jenny yells for mommy and she comes downstairs.
yeah,
But when the little girl's at the fish tank, you see this little like white
yeah,
looking thing come
we
over her,
see
like
that
standing over.
shroud immediately. And something else we see, Jay, as we see that shroud, and you're like, what? So then Valentina comes down the stairs. She
Mm-hmm.
sees the little girl fish tank shroud, but behind her, and you might even want to pull this up right now, behind the mom is something that I feel was intentionally placed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it looks like there's like a coat hanger behind the mom, and then there's like a big red coat and maybe a hat, and it kind of resembles a person.
Hmm.
And
What is that?
it's it's worth seeing. Like I made notes about it, and it looks kind of sinister back there. So
I'm going to once
anyway,
I don't have to pull it back up and look at it. I don't have
you
it
should
now, but
really look at it because it's while the dad is like, "Oh, baby, you're all right. Sorry the fish died, but now we can get that puppy you wanted, right?"
oh yeah,
So
because he comes downstairs because it's crazy though. Because when
yes,
Valentina comes downstairs, Jenny's yelling for her. She comes down the stairs. As soon
mhm,
as she turns the
mhm,
corner, she looks and you see this ghost
yeah,
lady hovering
yes,
over her daughter in like this white dress, and she's like,
exactly.
and she just
So
kind of like screams or whatever, and it's
yeah.
gone.
So right after that, the next time you see Valentina, I believe, is when you're gonna see like a coat rack behind her, and
Hmm.
it's a red coat, and it looks like maybe a hat, but it looks like it's intentional, and it made me make several notes about it because I thought it was pretty cool. Like
Into that one.
it's not like she's talking to the hubs, and I don't know if you have it pulled
I
it
don't
up.
put it now because I usually have it on my iPad. My iPad's not with me right now. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I have
Well,
to pull it up
refer
afterwards.
back to it later and just like we can move on, but it's something of note to look at later.
I'm going to look at
But
it because, and then when Mark hears her kind of make this noise, he comes in. He's looking for his keys. Mark's ready to go. He's ready to go get his raise, you know,
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and and the little girl, like you said a second ago, the fish is dead in the fish tank, and he's just kind of like, well, this makes it a great idea to, we can get you that puppy you always wanted, you know,
Uh-huh.
and so, but it's still, and this is one of the parts when I rewatched it that kind of irked me. But like something like that just happened. Like you just came downstairs, you seen this ghost lady hovering over your daughter, and you ain't gonna
Yeah.
say shit. Like you ain't gonna like nothing said. Like this is,
Mhm.
and it just kind of she just sends her with this look on her face, and he acts clueless. Like the fact that you see her standing here like this, and you ain't
Yeah.
gonna say shit. She ain't gonna say shit, and you're just gonna go on about your day like nothing happened. And I'm just like, come on, dude. Like,
Something's clearly wrong. If you looked at Jess and she did that, you would be like, "What's up?
yeah, like why are you
Talk to
looking
me.
like you just seen a ghost?
Talk to me. Perhaps you have seen an apparition." You would be like, "What the fuck is up?" She probably wouldn't even hesitate to tell you before you even asked. Like that is but yeah, so that's interesting because that shows a disconnect within the um marital unit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
it was
you
just like
think if you're married
miscommunication.
to somebody, you're communicating and they're clearly not communicating. So
Yes,
maybe this is more than just you know,
and that
uh,
that irked me so much because I was just like
you just made me realize
yeah,
that.
I'm just like,
That's
dude,
interesting. That's interesting that you introduced me to that perspective.
like, we're just not
That's just
gonna we're not even gonna acknowledge the fact that you just seen it. Like there
yeah.
has to be something in your mind that would have been like, holy shit, man,
Because
I just
wouldn't you be like, oh shit, Jess or whoever else is home at the time right now? Did you? But instead, you're like, you don't say anything.
no.
That
He just gets his little hug from his daughter, and he's out the door.
yeah,
You know?
yeah, yeah.
And then we get one of these things to where this movie's going to do a lot of. This movie's going to jump from
Mm-hmm.
a
Mm-hmm.
moment to where you
Mm-hmm.
thinking, what the fuck's going on? And then we jump to something totally, completely different that is just, where the fuck this come from? And
There
so,
is a lot of disconnect once
oh yeah,
again.
it is.
Jumping around.
And with this one, it's going to jump to Mark at the workplace. And
Yeah.
it's such a shitty moment because he's there talking to the boss man, like, I've been here all this time. I kind of figured it was about time for a raise. And
It's been 4 years since
yeah,
you've given me a raise.
yeah, the dude's put in his time. He's been there, he's been working, and the boss man has called him in. It wasn't like Mark was showing up to say, "Hey, boss, I want to raise." The boss man has called him in for a
He
meeting.
scheduled an appointment time. He was like, "Hey, come into my office
Yes.
9 a.m. tomorrow. Let's talk." And dude is like, "I'm gonna wear my best suit.
Yep.
I'm gonna have that pep talk in the mirror with my fucking devoted wife, my partner, who is like, I
Yep.
got this raise. I got this raise. I got this raise."
His
And
whole
guess what?
his whole
That's not
mindset
like,
was,
you
I'm
had
about to get that little extra money. And so when he's in there, and the boss even stops him and looks at him like he's stupid. He was just like, "What? You really think I called you in here for a raise? I'm calling you in here because we're about to fucking let you go, guy. Like the economy's shitty. We're gonna let you go." And
go see HR on your way out.
yeah, and it's just like, and there's no. He just basically like, swing by the front desk, get your last whatever, and I'm sitting there going, holy shit, what a kick in the nuts that would be. Like, you just had this moment with your wife back home. She's excited for you, everything, and then you
She
come to
believes
work.
in you.
Yeah, like you put on your good suit. You are dressed to the nines. You are on point.
You have told Jenny, your terminally ill child, that she's getting that puppy that
Yeah.
she's wanted since the fucking fish died.
Yep.
Everything is, it's all aces. Everything is going good. It's good.
But no,
Oh,
Mark gets the kick in the nuts, people. No raise, nothing. You're
and,
fired. Get your shit and get on out. Get on out. Like
and that's a fucking horror movie right there. That's a
it
fucking
is.
horror.
And that alone, and it made you think when certain situations like that, when you see, people in those situations, when you have a family at home, you've got to put food on the table, and just the thought of that morning when you woke up, you had such high hopes, like
Yeah.
everything was good, your life, it was going in a good direction, and then in just like that, in one moment,
You got no job,
everything has changed. Like you have
no income.
a job now, and then we jump once again after we get fired. We just jump over here to Valentina and Jeannie going
Yep.
to the church house to see Father Jackson.
That's exactly what's happening right now.
Yep.
Father Jackson, I'm glad I think I was calling him preacher in my notes because
I
I
was
missed his
putting
name
father for the
completely.
longest time. I just put father until at one point I read it on the subtitles. I seen Jackson. I was like, oh,
Oh, yeah.
finally I know this fucker's name.
Because I do, yeah, because I'm 50, so I watch subtitles
Oh, I
and
do too. Everything's subtitled for me.
yeah, yeah.
I can't hear it if I can't read it. It automatically fucks my hearing up if I can't read it.
It's isn't that a weird
It
like
is.
ear, eye? What is that shit?
I
You
have to
know?
have subtitles on if I'm watching a movie. Like if it's
Yeah.
live, like if I'm watching sports and it's live, I'll turn them off. But if I'm watching
Okay.
a movie or a TV show, subtitles have to be on.
Absolutely. And on that note, if I'm watching something that is not in English, I only speak English and read English
Yeah.
fluently. Any other um, language, I am a big dumb dumb.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's why I struggle with saying Santa Marita, however you said that, that shit.
I know it is tough, but what was my point about that? Uh oh yeah, so subtitles, big fan, and if I am watching a movie that is in a foreign language that is which to me means anything other than English, I don't know, I had to clarify. Um I can't listen to it in English dub. I have to hear it in the original language that it was. So if I'm watching a Spanish movie, like um example, Terrified, that was I think Spanish, and um I had to listen to it in original dialogue and then read subtitles because if I try to listen to English um subtitles and watch, I can't do that. Does that make sense to you?
Oh,
It
I
doesn't.
watch them either way, but I understand it's just everybody's
Uh,
different. Like I said, I
yeah,
can listen to like the dubbed type movies where they like
I
just
can't.
us over it. I can watch them. But
That doesn't compute with me, with my
yeah,
brain. I'm like, I have to hear it in the original language and then read the English subtitles. That's what I was trying to say.
yep, makes sense. And so now we got Valentina going up into the church. She goes into the
Yes.
church to see Father Jackson. She just comes in right out the gate, like as soon as he sits down with her, and
Yeah.
she's just like, "I'm so scared. I think I may be cursed." And we don't know what the fuck she's talking about. She just
Right.
apparently this is not Jeannie's first. I mean, this is not Valentina's first time coming to see Father Jackson. You know, she's had some issues,
That's,
and
yeah.
so while she's talking to Father Jackson, we see little Jenny on the other side of like the little church area. She's doing some coloring and shit. Remember this shit, people, when I say she's doing some coloring. She's coloring some shit on her little notebook. And then all of a sudden the preacher just kind of like, hey, well, let's just pray. He starts praying with Valentina. Then you catch a little breeze blow across
Mhm.
right there in the church house. A little breeze, a little light breeze. You see her
What
hair
was I
kind of
calling
flows.
that breeze in my notes? Keep talking. I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, and so the little breeze blows across her, and next thing you know, the Father Jackson and Valentina are done praying, and it's just one of the things that irked me is things move so fast. Like it's
Yeah.
a moment of her saying, it's not working. I'm cursed. Till we see
Mhm.
little Jenny's hair blow. Now all of a sudden they're just walking out of the church, like no big deal. And uh, next thing you know, after we leave the church, we're at the fucking hospital.
Mhm.
We're at the hospital, and we just get some doctor sitting there in front of fucking Valentina, and she just kind of like, it's back. It's spread to the brain.
Yeah.
And I kind of figured when you said that, I was like, I guess we're talking about cancer here.
Yeah.
Cancer maybe question mark, question mark, you know. And
Yeah. You know what? I think you're right. I don't think we've assumed the big C. I don't think that has been established. I
yeah, at
think
this
you're right.
point it hasn't. It just it
You're
nothing
right.
said about it. It was just her saying when she went to the doctor and the doc's like, oh, it's back. You know,
I mean, that could be hemorrhoids.
yeah,
Uh, They're
anything.
back.
She could have fucking, a yeast infection for all we know. We don't fucking know.
It's back.
Like it's back, but when she says spread to the brain, I guess that kind of takes away yeast infection because I don't think it works that way. But I don't have a vagina, so I don't know. But doesn't spread to the brain, people.
I don't know either. I have a vagina and I don't know, but um I'm not a gynecologist. So why would I know?
But the crazy part in this, and here's where another one of my issues with this thing when she the doctor looks at her and says, the insurance didn't cover the last treatment.
Oh no. I actually made some notes about this whole fucking thing.
Yeah,
Cause for real,
yeah. Like your insurance didn't cover the last treatment, and
so
we can't
worse.
start
She's
your
not
new
getting any more.
treatment until you pay up, people. I'm just like, what?
Your doctor is gonna walk in and say, so
Yeah, we didn't get that
I
last
mean,
payment, bitch. Where the fuck's our money?
you know what? They might not do it, but they're not gonna be that blatant about it. Like that's
I think they'd be a little more like, let's pull you to the side when your half dead daughter's not sitting here next to us, and let's talk about the money side of things. But it's just kind
yeah,
of like, but then when you see this though, when you see her saying,
yeah,
uh,
yeah,
your insurance didn't pay, so I'm thinking to myself, okay, are they having some money issues?
maybe.
But that's a pretty fucking nice house they're living up in. And they got
They
some
are
nice
in a
ass
nice house.
clothes. They got some nice ass shit for somebody who
Yeah,
is struggling. And
yeah,
everything the whole time they're showing their house they're living in, they got all this, nice ass suits, nice ass clothes. I'm like, really? Like, are you
yeah.
struggling? Like,
So
maybe
here,
not live in this nice ass house with a fucking piano and shit all in it. Go get your little small 2 bedroom and make ends meet. But and that's one of the things that annoyed me
exactly.
because the whole time the doctor's like, your insurance didn't pay, and then they tell her basically with her daughter sitting there, they're going, "Fuck you,
Yeah,
girl. We're not going to
yeah,
do shit until we get our money."
yeah,
And the
yeah.
little girl is clueless. The little girl's clueless as fuck.
The little girl is in her bed going,
Yeah,
like,
she is just sitting there on the doctor's table.
I
And
don't
apparently,
feel good.
this isn't the first time I guess they've dealt with this. Because apparently there were previous bills. So
Maybe they're just like, fuck her. She's a little princess. She's like, oh, mommy, I'm sick again.
so they were. So you're saying they're just like fuck them kids. That's basically what they were at. They were fuck them kids.
Well, I didn't even have that thought until just now. I only had that fresh thought right now when I was like, because like the parents look so tired. Like, how come we got Terrence Howard and then this fine ass, whatever her name is, that is playing Valentina, and nobody's taken off any, like
You just want to
Does he?
see. You just want to see Valentina naked. That's where you're getting at right now. You just want to see
I just
the
think
movies.
I think they're too maybe, but I think they're too stressed out to get naked even with each other. They are so stressed out that sexy time is not on their agenda, which makes them good parents.
So you're saying sexy
Mm.
time would have took care of the cancer. Is what you're saying? Like fuck your daughter. Fuck the cancer.
Don't you just want to feel good for 30 seconds?
And
I don't know.
but they were like, it's funny because that whole part's going on when she's like with the fucking daughter, and
With the fucking daughter. That's
but then we get Mark driving home. You just got fired, guy. You just lost your job. What the fuck is Mark doing? Mark pulls up at the house with a dog in the front seat with him. Like
and
he
it's like,
the dog.
yeah, fuck the dog. But yeah, he leaves the dog. What I did not like
He
is
left it in
that
the
he
car.
left the dog in the car.
See, I can't stand animals. I'm not an animal person at all. I hate all dogs, all cats, all animals. I hate them. I'm not an animal person at all.
I'm, I'm just
Cover
telling
your
my
ears. I know you
kitty
got some cats. I know you got a cat or so wandering around there. Cover their ears up. Yeah, don't let them hear this.
they're
But
cats. They're not listening. They don't give a shit.
yeah, see, I am not an animal person. Like I cannot. I hate them. I don't do animals. So the fact that he wandered off and just left his whole fucking dog in the car
You're like,
doesn't bother me much. I'm just like, that's one less mouth to feed if it doesn't
see,
survive.
that's how I feel about children. Okay, so Jay, we get each other, and the fact that that's really how I feel about kids. I'm like, well, if you're gonna be that dumb about raising them, then maybe you shouldn't. But it was my choice to take on these fucking asshole cats. But yeah, so okay, I can see your side of things. I can see your side for sure.
So then when Mark gets home that afternoon, he comes up to the front door and sees a little statue sitting on his doorstep.
So why does he bring it into the house? Because that is weird. Like I would pick it up. I'd be like, "Oh, new garden gnome." Cuz it's the angel of death and I'd be like, "Well, cool."
Yeah, and
But
he brings it in there, and when he comes in, he's kind of like the house is kind of quiet, and he sets it down on the table. Well, in comes Valentina. You can tell he's got some shit on. She's got some shit on her mind, and so then she basically tells Mark like it's back, and she gives him the paperwork, and they're kind of having a talk, and it's like. And she asked him, she's like, I thought your insurance was supposed to pay for everything. And he's like, well, apparently it didn't pay for all the last treatment. And during this conversation, Mark decides, I'm not going to tell you, babe, that it just got fired. I'm not going to add to it. I'm going to keep
now is
it in the
not
wreck.
the time. Now is not the time.
Yeah, not the time to tell you I just got fired.
I
And
agree with his decision.
see, I don't know if I would have. I'd have had to been like, well, we're already got it. We're in a shitty moment right now, so why not let's just fucking get it all out.
And then you would laugh your asses off because it's so ridiculous.
Just get it
And
all
then
out.
none of this bad shit would have happened.
And when she's telling this, she looks over and finally sees that statue. And when she sees the statue, and if you look up images of the Santa Marita, however you say it, it's a lady, like a skull face, black dress. Sometimes she's got like a globe or something in her hand, a little whatever. And that's kind of what it was. And so when she sees it, you see her have a quick little flashback, like something happened, and so I'm thinking, it's funny though because she's like, oh, I got to go pick her up. She's at ballet practice, and Mark's like, well, I'll go get her, and I'm just like, you just not even gonna tell her. You're just gonna just get it out, man. Like y'all are already in the shit. So let's just get it all. Now we're gonna tackle all the shit together. Like, okay, babe, her cancer's back.
You
We
know what, Jay? That is such an insightful thing to say. And I may have had like 3 vodka drinks so far, but can I just interject and say that is sage advice to just when something comes up,
Mhm.
to just be like, all right, we need to talk about it. Because when you don't talk about it, it just kind of builds up and it gets awkward. And then when you do try to talk about it, it's not always the result it could have been. Does that make
Yeah.
sense to
Oh,
you?
it makes sense because eventually they end up kind of going back and forth this whole movie because
No shit.
there's a point
That's what
where
I'm realizing.
she's got a little bit of info
Uh-huh.
he don't know about, and then at one point he looks at her and goes like, "How can you keep this from me?" I'm like, "Motherfucker, you're keeping shit from her." But
Yeah.
this all went down when um she sees the statue. Mark goes and picks her up, and then it's because in another part that bugs me when he goes and picks her up from ballet. They're driving back. He has Jenny in the car with him with the dog. He's telling her like, this dog is going to get me killed with your mother, and she tells him what she's going to name it. And he just kind of like, oh, we'll handle it when we get home. And they give you no warning or no type of lead in. It didn't go from him coming home with the daughter and the dog. We go
Mm.
straight from driving down the road with your daughter and a dog straight to a bar. You just
That
wake up
is
in a
a
bar.
very interesting observation that I fucking overlooked because
Yeah.
I overlooked so much shit in this movie.
Because I'm like, dude, did you stop on the way home and leave your daughter in the car with a dog to go into this bar to talk with
You
your
are
brother,
you're
Andreas?
the brother who, I'm sorry, where is the brother just come from?
Prison.
Isn't this
He,
and that's okay. That's okay. Because people go to prison, people fuck up and they come out, but guess what? Something never sat right with me and the brother that just came out of prison and now he's going to babysit your kid in a couple of scenes from now.
yeah.
Not that you can't babysit your niece when you're fresh out of prison, but we didn't really touch on.
Why he's in prison. We don't know why he was in prison.
I don't know, was he a child molester?
Yeah, we don't know.
I have no idea. It a fucking stupid ass fucking drug charge? Don't care about that shit. Was it some other dumb shit? But we gotta know why
And this
he
and
was
this movie leaves you hanging so many times.
a lot, a lot.
Because the part
But
of it was kind of like I wanted to see how Mama was going to react when she showed up with the new puppy. You never get any of that. I wanted to know, like, don't just take me from you driving down the road with your daughter to all of a sudden you walking into a bar to talk to your
like
brother because this is
like
apparently a whole different day.
how do you handle everyday life, everyday situations? Like you communicate with your partner, your family members. Like I think that's a big disconnect in this. And is that intentional? I don't know.
Oh, this family's fucked up because while he's talking to the brother, after we jump from the scene to him in the car with his daughter, he's in the bar with his brother, and he's just like talking to his brother it was like he just got out of prison that fucking day, and he's
That's what I
talking to him.
think.
And,
He was like, "Hey, bro, I just got out of prison. I know you can't come pick me up, but can you meet me at the bar?"
yeah, because he's just kind of like Mark comes in, he's like, "How'd you avoid all that death in prison?" And he's like, "Because of this," and he has a tattoo on his neck of the Santa Marita, and he's basically saying that's the reason he's still there. And then out of the blue, Mark just like, "But does it make wishes come true?" And the
Like,
brother's
you gonna
like,
on my belly? What's gonna make that happen?
"Yeah," the brother's like, "Well, hell yeah, it'll make wishes come true." And he was kind of tells him, he's like, "Well, I need like $50,000 because that's apparently how much they're behind on chemo treatment for the little girl. And his little brother, Andreas is just kind of like, well, I may know a guy.
I may know a guy.
I may know
I
a
may
guy named
know a
Miguel.
guy. Let me put you in touch with this guy.
Yeah, we're gonna hit you up. And he's like, don't fuck around with these type of guys. But here's his info if you want to fuck around with them kind of guys. And I'm just kind of like, it's moving. God, that's one of the things that annoys me about this movie. How it jumped from just part to part, and it just leaves you wondering, like, what the fuck, dude? And then we get after he has that little thing with his brother. His brother gives him the number to Miguel, whatever. Well, then that night, Valentina's going to have a dream, and this is where we finally get to see this scarecrow, little girl out in the field. You see this scarecrow. She walks up to the fucking and this whole time it's like this little girl. She's got like this little doll in her hand. She sees this scarecrow out in the middle of the fucking field. The scarecrow's creepy. I will give them that. The little fucking when it fell off, when it finally hit the ground and it did the little setup, this whole little part right here was pretty fucking creepy.
And it reminded me of one of my favorite made-for-TV horror films from I think the 80s called, and it's on Shudder. It's called Night of the Scarecrow? Night of the Scarecrow, I think is what it's called. But it happens over like 2 or 3 nights, so I've always not appreciated the title, but Night of the Scarecrow is kind of a vintage early 80s, late 70s movie you need to check out that's on Shudder. But
Look it up.
we were talking about
Skeletons in the closet. That's where we're at.
yeah. Thanks. And the scarecrow in that movie that made me think of the other movie. So we're at the bar.
Oh. We're at the what?
I think we're at the bar.
No, we're done at the bar. So this is that part where Valentina's dreaming.
Okay.
And she has that dream to where she's out in the field. She sees the scarecrow. Scarecrow falls off the post where he's at. And he just kind of and the little girl starts running. And at the time, you do not know, and it eventually all come toward the end. That little girl is Valentina in her younger days. Scarecrow falls off. Scarecrow sits up, makes these creepy noises when he sits up. And one of the things that will creep me out in any horror movie, no matter what it is, the sound of like that creaky bone, just when something sits up and it's make this creepy cracking type sound, that shit gets me. Like, it's just like, what the fuck? And this old scarecrow, he starts off kind of slow. He sits up, then he's crawling, he's dragging himself across the ground. Then Scarecrow's up moving. Scarecrow's walking. Then the fucking Scarecrow got a little jaw. He got a little pep in his step. And so, and that's when you get the first shot of this fucking thing. And then all of a sudden, the little girl screams. Valentina wakes up from her dream. And it's a fucking dream. You don't know what the fuck any of that shit was about. It was just, it's all gonna come together. But fucking scarecrows, man. Then
Night of the Scarecrow. Check it out.
Hey, and then this is where we get Jenny is in the bed. This is where we get her little cough type bullshit. But it's weird because once again we jump scenes. She's in the bed.
There is a lot of scene jumping.
Yes, she's in the bed coughing. She makes this coughing sound and she calls for Valentina. Mommy, cut scene, people. We're jumping to a whole different day.
Yeah, it's very contrived. It's very manipulative. It's very thought out.
Because she's at work the next day.
See, kids, fucking kids. That's what they do. They're like,
Fuck parents up, man. Like she's at work the next day, and apparently she's a nurse at the hospital, and she's standing there and she sees this lady out in the hallway. There's like the lady's got her kid on the bed on the little gurney or whatever, and I guess the kid's passing away because she sees the spirit leave this little boy. When the spirit leaves, it looks like it goes into the white ghost lady, the ghost in the white dress. That's what it looks like to me. And she just freezes. Like the little boy is dying on the table. Like I don't know what kind of codes they yell out in hospitals when some shit's going bad. I don't know if
but
it's code blue. I've watched a lot of Grey's Anatomy.
right here, loss of life.
Yeah. Grey's Anatomy, they be hearing some shit like code blue, code blue. You know some shit's going down. They run out the corner, fucking Valentina just standing there. And the lady's going, nurse, nurse. And Valentina just standing there. And you're wondering, like, bitch, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, what is the shit you were talking to the Father Jackson about? What is all this shit? And you're trying to figure it all out because now she's just standing in the middle of a hospital frozen while this little boy dies because she don't know how to react to a code blue. I watched enough Grey's Anatomy. I know what to do when they say code blue. You get a fucking cart, people. Bring a cart. Crash cart. Little dude was going down in the hospital. Fucking Valentina just standing there like a deer in headlights. What the fuck, Valentina? Shit.
Like a sacred deer.
There you go. Like ties it right back to last week's episode. If you haven't checked it out, go give it a listen.
Do it. That was a good one.
Hey,
Oh, Jay, I would laugh so hard at that one so many times. It was so good. That was a great, and you did it all by yourself. You did not have a co-host guest.
Flying solo
Fucking,
on that one.
dude, that was a fucking check it out. Hashtag sacred killing of a sacred deer.
Killing of a deer.
Just hashtag Colin Firth, who's the kid from hashtag Saltburn. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Go ahead.
So,
But that kid's fucked up. Let me tell you, we should talk about Saltburn at some point too. But
we'll get to that one a different day. That's a
it's gonna
whole
be
pack on Saltburn.
It's gonna be a whole wow.
So the fucking after she has her episode in the hospital, V goes back to the church. She goes back to the church, see Father Jackson. She tells Father Jackson, how could he do this? She's upset.
Yeah.
She's upset.
How could a loving God?
Yeah. She prays.
She's mad.
Yeah, she does. A typical any mom would be pissed off. She does everything she thinks that she should do. She prays every day. She tries to do the right thing, but bam, her daughter Jenny has the cancer's back. No matter all the praying she's done, it's done nothing. You know, and you can tell either I felt bad for Father Jackson because he's trying to comfort her and he's trying to, but you can even tell Father Jackson is at a loss for words. He doesn't know what to say to get her through this thing, you know. And she makes a comment to him. She's like, "How could a loving God give families children to take them away?" And Father Jackson's like, he tried to play the whole like, well, God's plan. And she's just kind of like, well, God's plan is just a placeholder to explain when anything happens. You know, she's pissed off. You know, she's a mama. She's mad because this has happened to her daughter. She's tried to do everything she could, and it's not worked. And so now mama's going to get desperate. Parents are going to get desperate when it comes to their kids. You know, I've seen my mama willing to throw down with some people over me and my two brothers. Like she would hurt people. So I see it in Valentina. She's like pissed off and she leaves the church and she tells Father Jackson when she leaves, like, it doesn't work. Like she's telling him, like, your guidance doesn't work. You've told me to pray. You've told me to do all these right things. And I'm nothing's fixed. I'm right back to where I was at before. So now Mama's desperate, you know. And once again, we're going to get us another jump, people. We're going to get us a jump because now we get Mark going to the bar asking for the gangster Miguel. Mark's going to make it.
Oh, that is a wild. That was wild. That was fucking wild.
It's just out of the blue. He decides he's going to go to the bar, meet up with this Miguel guy.
But Miguel is who his fucking dumb shit brother was like. Andreas was like, "What's up? I know this piece of shit asshole who will probably give you some cement shoes, but if you're really desperate, I can hook you up." And he was like, "Okay."
Yeah, he went down the wrong road with Miguel.
And,
Miguel is
and that is how Miguel shows up. Like his own brother Andreas hooks him up, which is why I keep feeling like that fool is a big suspect. But anyway, that's just my thoughts.
it will make you think later that the brother had something to do with all of it. Because
Well, I've been thinking that for a while.
after he makes a deal with Miguel, Mark's going to make this deal with Miguel to get the money, and he don't even give him all of it. He only gives him half of the 25 of the 50,000 that he needed. He was only going to give him half. And
the collateral. Oh, the collateral is
and it was
nice.
like, and he wanted, and he told him like, you got 30 days to kind of pay this thing back. And
30 days, 30%.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to keep this picture of your wife and your little girl as collateral because I'm not a threat at all.
Yeah. And after he tells him this, then we get Mark back in the bar again, and he's talking to the bartender and his brother comes back in there. And the whole time I'm watching this, I'm going, dude, for somebody that needs the money, for somebody that needs to be paying some bills, you're at the bar a lot, guy. You're up in there buying the drinks or whatever y'all doing, and they're sitting there talking, and that whole little scene. There's certain scenes in this movie where I feel like, why the fuck is it here? Like this particular scene where he's in the bar, the bartender comes up and he's kind of like, well, I'm kind of like a priest. You could talk to me, and he starts talking.
Oh, exactly, dude. That was supposed to be like so symbolic and notable, but no, it's not the same thing. It's really not the same thing.
Yeah, this whole
one's getting paid to listen to your shit, and one you should be feeling confident that you can legally tell them you can confess and you won't go to jail. Does that make sense? Because that's what you do with the priest, right? You're like, oh, forgive me, Father, for I have fucked all these little boys in the butthole, but I'm telling you, and so I'm expunged, right? And they're like, oh yeah, Mary full of grace, whatever. But what was my point? I don't know. I guess that's how I feel about religion. So
yeah, apparently you don't like priests. We get it.
Sorry about that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend anybody. I'm sure there was a point there, but I lost it because thanks, vodka.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good. We drink here.
Let's move on.
Yeah. And so this, like I said, this is one of those points of movies that could have done without. You could have took this whole part out. It meant nothing. It has nothing to do with anything, and get it out. And then we get back at the house. Jenny's coughing in her bed again. You hear little noises, and Valentina's at the sink. A little breeze blows by, and it's just the breeze blows by. Jenny yells for Mama.
Again.
Get scene, cut, bam. Now we're at something totally different. We got Mark and his brother Andreas rolling up into a psychic store. One of those where they like read your fucking palms. And now we're going to see Madame Ventura, and they go up in there. They see Madame Ventura. She's just kind of like, it's going to cost you $50. Once again, Mark, you're spending $50 when you already owe 50,000 in fucking doctor bills, and you're
But
dropping
what's
50 bucks.
$50?
What's $50? Just drop it out there. And the brother, Andreas, he ain't offered up to do a fucking thing. He ain't offered up a nickel. He's just tagging along with you, like he ain't offering to pay for shit. He'll babysit for you and all that good shit.
That's the thing. He'll be your fucking babysitter, but
He ain't gonna add no money to nothing.
that's
And
why I don't trust this fool.
yeah, and it's just it's going to get to this madam starts kind of do the whole reading of the cards bullshit, and you're going to get Mark starting to get, of course, he's desperate, because Madame Ventura is going to tell him that there's a way he can change the future. She basically tells him she can't do nothing, but she knows somebody that can. And she's like, I know somebody. And so then we're back home. We're back at the house. V's in the kitchen. Valentina's in the kitchen looking over bills, trying to figure out how we're going to pay the bills.
She got them all spread out and then on that kitchen island.
Yeah. Mark finally
we've all
comes
been
in.
there. We've all been there on that kitchen island being like, I don't know what the fuck. But I just feel like her situation is so unique. Something not unique in the sense that you want to be in that situation, but she's got there's some shit going on. It's unsavory.
Yeah,
It's unsavory.
she's fucking nuts. That's what she is. But and while they're trying to pay, she's trying to pay the bills, figure out what we're going to pay next. Mark finally comes in. And finally he lets it all out. Like, I got fired, and she's kind of like worried, like, what are we going to do? And he's kind of like, I got this idea. I got a little something I'm working on right now.
I got a really good idea. Let me tell you all about it.
Yeah, and it's going to be, and this is where we're not going to spoil all of this because this is a newer movie, so a lot of people haven't seen it. So I won't spoil a lot, but they're basically going to get a chance to save their little girl. Now, then the question is going to come up: what are you willing to give up to save your daughter? And I'm curious. One part I'm curious about, because when the dude is going to tell them to bring in a piece of paper, you're going to write on this piece of paper what you're willing to give up to save your daughter. It never tells you in the movie. You don't know. But I'm curious because he basically says Marx is not good enough to get the kid.
He apparently would not give up everything to save his child.
Because he basically
He's
tells
like, nope, I wouldn't give up.
like, Marx isn't good enough to save life. So was Mark willing to like give up his did he have like a baseball card collection? Like, I'll give you my.
Well, it must be that I just had a fucking epiphany that it must be that fucking hot piece of pussy that he's married to.
Mm-hmm.
What else would you not give up your life for your child other than the person that you created that child with?
Yeah.
Just a wild guess from someone who has never created a child with another person. Does that make sense? Okay, sorry. Kind of drunk.
It's all good. I don't know, because it was just that I didn't know. It gets to that point where it's like I wanted to know what he had on that piece of paper, because
and that's what I'm thinking. Like, what could be more special than the child you created than the being you created that child with? But I may not know what I'm talking about. That's just my theory.
Because eventually her and this particular guy will make this deal life for life. That's what things going to come down to, is to save your daughter's life, you're going to have to give your life. There's going to be a whole twist to Valentina having to give up her life to save her daughter's life. And it's going to start flashing back to earlier when you see the scarecrow and you see the little girl, because that's going to be Valentina. So it starts peeling back that onion of all of this, and this is where I'm not going to go into it because it is a newer movie, so a lot of people won't see it. So you can go see it. I won't spoil this little twist that they have to it, but it is. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to a lot of what are you willing to do or give up to save your little cancer girl. Where do you go? And that's what this thing boils down to.
What would you do to save your child?
Yes, and apparently Mark was not willing to do enough, but
He was
Valentina,
like, I'm not doing that.
yeah, Mama's willing to go all the way, and so that's kind of how you're gonna have to watch it to the end to figure it out.
That is very interesting.
But there's going to be God. There's so fucking just the way it jumps around, man. I was so fucking annoyed when it would do that because I'd be watching a scene and be like having questions, and all of a sudden it jumps to something else. I'm what the fuck, dude? I'm still trying to process what I just seen.
But that's great. Like, I love that that's your observation. Like, that's clearly what's happening. But I don't think I would have ever picked up on that had you not pointed it out. And that just, okay, see, I'm kind of swaying my.
Where your ratings gonna be?
I don't know. We'll see.
That's where we're getting to now because I'm not gonna spoil the end of the
Yeah.
movie.
And I'm still watching. And right now, the point where we are is they're in the bar, and the dude's like, I'll be a preacher because
I
I'm a
fucking hate
bartender.
that part. That part pissed.
Yeah.
I got so mad at that part because it was just so pointless.
Yeah, it's just dumb. And then I don't know about Cuba Gooding Jr. right now. Like,
He could have not been in the movie, and it would have changed nothing. Like the brother could have had nothing to do at all. He could have just had some random dude at a bar be like, "Here, you should call this guy," and
well,
the whole thing would have still went the same way. The fact that Cuban Gooding Jr. was in it as the brother was totally fucking. He could have been gone. He had nothing to do with anything. Really,
yeah.
this could have been
And
some random stranger that gave him a fucking business card to Madame Futura.
Yeah, and I wondered a few times if it were relevant, and you're correct, it is absolutely irrelevant. And I wanted this dumb motherfucker to like be implemented. But no, nothing, just
He does nothing. He's nothing for the movie.
it's yeah, it's just kind of dead air. It's
Just a
kind
big
of
name. Just a big
yeah,
name tag to the
I
movie.
know, I know. Do you remember um what was it called? Jerry Maguire when
Oh yeah.
was it
Show me the money. Show me
hear
the money.
that?
Yeah.
And wasn't he like, "Oh, I just like to air dry." Didn't he say that? Wasn't that the quote? "I just like to air dry" when they're in the locker room, and he's like,
Because I seen
"Do you
that
know
one.
what I'm talking about?" I
So
just think that shit's funny. And every time I get out of the shower and I just like wrap a towel around me, I'm like, every time for all 12 of you listening, I just like to go, oh, I just like to air dry. Because, you just wrap a towel around you and then you go
just
brush your teeth or whatever it is, you're going to do next. Like,
go straight Jerry Maguire. That's what you do.
and for the record, I brush my teeth before I shower in the morning because it's the first thing I do when I wake up. So I just want everybody to know that. It's the first thing I do when I wake up. Brush my teeth. Who
So,
fucking gives a shit?
so we're not going to spoil the end of it. So
We're not even halfway there.
we're not going to spoil it. That's why I'm going to stop because this is where it all starts coming together. This is where it all starts. The pieces start coming together. She starts having the flashbacks of her childhood and, everything like that. So I'm not going to spoil it because it is a newer movie. If it was something older and everybody's had time to see it, don't get fucked. But this is kind of new, so we'll kind of cut it short. We got to kind of get you toward this is it's going to start wrapping up to where everything's going to start piecing together, to where you start figuring out who Valentina is, who this ghost is, you know, why everything's happened to her daughter, and it's all going to come together. And but I want to let you give your rating first on this movie.
Oh, okay. I'm
It
gonna
may have
break it down.
changed by the time we started this show and to now, because once we kind of start going back and forth, sometimes it changes. So where you at on this one? You fucking marrying or killing?
At this moment in time, okay, before this evening, I was going to kill it. And I would say at this point, I am open to fucking it just maybe a couple of times more before I make a full decision because it pulled a lot of punches. There's a lot there. It's a pretty good story,
Mm-hmm.
excellent acting, and I wanted so badly to just be like, oh, fuck it. But I mean kill it. But I can't quite pull the trigger just yet. So something that intrigues me, that's good, something that gives you thought, perspective, or Jay, your perspective on something. And then I'm like, oh, well, let me watch it with what Jay just told me about your experiences that make you feel this way. And does that make sense? Like, that's why it's kind of fun to watch things with other people's because you draw on their experiences, not just yours, to maybe come to different conclusions.
Yeah, and when it comes to any of the movies that I talk about on here or anything, I tell people all the time. Like I said, it is this is my opinion. I'm not.
Yeah.
I tell everybody to go watch. I will never sit here and say, "Don't go watch that movie." I tell everybody, go watch the movie because your opinion is going to be different than mine. You're going to see it different than I see it, and that's one of the great things about movies is somebody can watch it. They may see something totally different, take it something a different way than what I take it, and so when we sit here and I say whether or not we're going to fuck it, marry, or kill it, you know, do not take when I say I want to fucking, curb stomp kill a movie to think like, oh, it's just a terrible movie. No, that's just my opinion. And my opinion
Totally.
ain't shit. I'm not shit. So this is just my rating on this. And for me, this movie, as much as I enjoy Terrence Howard,
Ah.
I cannot, I don't want to watch it again. Ever. I don't because of the frustrations that it gave me and aggravation when it would jump from daddy daughter time with a new puppy to daddy walking in a bar to get set up with a gangster named Miguel. Like it's just little shit like that. Like if they would have gave me a little moment in between, gave me 2 or 3 minutes of him coming home with Jenny with the dog, just something, but not to where it's like you cut off the road, the drive home with the dog and your daughter to daddy walking in the bar. I'm thinking daughter's in the car out at the bar with the dog while daddy's in the bar. Shit like that aggravated me. And the a lot of the back and forth. And another thing that we didn't get to it because it was toward the end.
And you didn't even make it towards the end tonight.
I don't want to spoil it, but one thing I'm going to spoil people. There's a little thing called this new thing called CG. Is that what this shit's called nowadays?
Computer generated
Whatever it
CG
is, computer
CGI?
generated. I don't know,
Shit.
but
Yeah.
at the toward the end when they have the fire break out in that little fucking church, and you can tell that shit is so fucking fake. It's not even It's not even close. Like, it was so bad. And I'm just sitting there like, oh man, y'all could have lit a fucking outhouse out back on fire with some real shit to make it look a little bit of
You
fire.
know, I think I might have. I'm looking at my notes because I think I might have even talked about how bad that was. But
Oh, it was bad.
yeah, I think we overall agree. Like, I wanted to give this more credit than it was due because one, you recommended it. I was like,
Oh, this is my fault. I know this one's my fault.
oh yeah, it's all your fault. It's
I'll
all
take
your
the hit on
fucking
this one.
fault. No, 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 no. Because the first time we were like, well, you pick it. And I'm like, oh God, the pressure's on. I don't know. And then this time I was like, well, dude, what do you suggest? And you're like, let's do this because Terrence Howard is a bad motherfucker. So I agreed, which, um, what was my whole point? Oh, God damn it. Okay. I'm drunk.
Don't let the
But
vodka distract you. You gotta you gotta fight against the vodka. You're letting the
fuck
vodka
you,
win.
Roger. Fuck you. You are not that strong. You can't do this to me.
You're letting the vodka
Um,
win.
you've been drinking like an hour before we were more than an hour. You were like, by the way, I'm already drinking. And I'm like, shit, I'm just going for like to the gym after work. So
Hey,
you totally started drinking before me. Does not excuse my behavior that I forgot my rating. I wanted to give
you
it
said
a
you
really
were
hard
going to
rating.
fuck it. That's what you just said. You're gonna fuck it. Like friends with benefits. You're gonna call it up every now and then.
No, I don't think I'm gonna fuck it. I think I'm gonna have to kill it. I'm gonna have to kill it.
Mm. So
Yeah,
two kills.
cause yeah,
Two
yeah.
kills.
I'm gonna kill it because now that I hear the perspective of someone who has raised children, as I have not, I'm like, you know what? You should, fuck this guy. Fuck this guy. But he's being real on the other hand. So I don't know. I don't know. The jury's still out.
So you still don't know if you're fucking or marrying it.
Ah,
Oh,
damn it. No, I'm not going to marry it. I would either fuck it or kill it. Fuck it or kill it.
so you're going to be on the clothesline for this one, right on the line.
I am going to, I'm going to kill it. I'm done. You know what? Fuck it. I'm actually like, I'm turning it off. I'm not even going to because it was on in the background. You know what? Fuck it. Terrence Howard, I hope they paid you a lot of money for that turd. Yeah, I
Hey,
tried. Didn't you?
yeah, I mean, I watched it. I'm not mad at myself for watching it. Yeah, I just
I'm
know
not
I'm not going back to it again. It was one and done.
same. Sometimes I just need to like turn off my brain, and that's when I'll watch something like that. But you made me think that I wanted to give it a little more of a chance, and then no, no. Um,
So we're killing.
shit.
So it's two kids.
And and such is life. Sometimes relationships are like that too. Have you ever been in a situation where you're like, I don't know, and then at some point something tells you, no, we're done.
I don't know. I've been married 4 times, so yeah, it took me a few times to figure it all out. I got smarter with age, so I finally got it figured out. So I'm good now.
I did not know that about you. That is interesting. 4 times.
Oh yeah, but
That's awesome. Good for you.
save the best for last. So everything's good. Everything's peachy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. I don't think we talked about that entire movie, just for the record. I
No,
think
no,
we
we
bi-
didn't. We didn't want to. I don't want to spoil the end of it.
I think we got like halfway through it.
No, because it goes fast though. Once it gets towards just the part we cut off, it starts going fast. Everything's
Oh,
tripping. You just let the vodka confuse you at that toward the end there.
That's why I'm confused. I'm confused. And I'm also mesmerized by your Mr. Blister t-shirt.
Oh yeah, these are the new ones off of Billy Pond's Etsy store.
How sweet is that?
Oh yeah, it's fucking awesome. Like I said, when it came out, that's why I went to the store for this design for this shirt. When
Yeah.
I hit him up in his post, I was like, I went to the store to get this shirt, and when I got to the checkout, I had 11 fucking things in the cart of
Ah.
of the dead shit when I checked out. But yeah,
No, it's great. I love it. I love that Billy Pond listens about the Etsy shop. I think he was talking about a new design, and I just chimed in and I was like, well, there could be more ladies cut t-shirts. And the next day, boom, all these other styles were available for us ladies who don't want to wear men's boxy t-shirts.
yeah. Billy
Yeah,
Pond. Check out the Etsy store, people. You get some of your Cirque to the Dead shit. But
absolutely.
that's the episode for Skeletons in the Closet on Shudder.
Yeah.
It's
And
a
I
for fucking Jamie here. She's done went back and forth 4 fucking times. I don't know what she's doing. I don't know if she's fucking killing it or fucking it.
you know what? I'm killing it. I'm killing it. I'm killing it. We're done. I never need to watch it again. I watched it twice and it just fell flat the end. So
We
we
will.
still love you, Terrence.
Oh yeah, big huge fan of Terrence. No, not hating it all on Terrence. He worked with what he was given, and like I said, go check the movie out. It's like I said, it is a go. I'm telling you, go watch the movie. Make your own
Go watch.
opinion of it. This is just my opinion, and I ain't shit. So go to Shutter, go check it out, go watch it. Um,
Yeah.
if you want to swing by and leave a fucking comment or review, we'd appreciate it. 5-star preferably. If you think I'm a 1-star, I don't give a fuck. I don't care either. But I appreciate you all hanging out. Appreciate you all taking a few minutes out of your day to listen to this shit show. Jamie, appreciate you coming on here once again.
Thanks for having me. I can't believe I was asked back. I'll probably never be asked back again, but I'll do it.
Oh no, like I said, we're gonna see what happens
Yeah.
down the road. Like I said, I already got a couple on the list. I already threw at you to kind of check out and see what you think about them. But
I'm ready.
but yeah, like I said, I don't know what's coming next week. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna talk about. I don't know what movie I may talk about. Like I said, I never have a plan. So we will see. So stay tuned. But I appreciate everybody stopping by. Go check us out on all the podcast platforms. YouTube, we're on YouTube. You can see the video of the shit show right there. Go like, subscribe, follow along. And until next time, people, we've reached that part of the episode, family. I need you all to reach over, grab your drinks. I need you to grab your shit, put your chairs away, and get the fuck out of here.